So while we are talking about CIO, my personal view is that CIO need not to be very, get into a deeper of technology actually, right? So CIO should really get deeper into business. They should understand what business is asking for.
You are watching CIO TV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Infomedia. Hello and welcome. You're watching CIOTV.live. In a series of interviews, we try to understand the perspectives of CIOs and IT leaders on various technologies and their strategies. In today's show, we are joined by Mr. Lakshmikant Das, independent IT advisor and consultant at Lupin. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Das.
Thank you, Anisa. It's a really honor and privilege to be part of this discussion. Thank you very much.
A quick introduction of Mr. Das. He's a management graduate with more than 20 years of extensive experience in supply chain technology consulting, stakeholder management, IT operations, IT infrastructure, business technology strategy development, service management, and risk management. Mr. Das has so much experience. Now, we're in a pandemic, and right now we're seeing the third wave, the Omicron variant of COVID-19 now wreaking havoc around the world. It's started to pick up in India as well. So, what is the preparedness at your company for hybrid work or any sort of eventuality that may arise in case there is a lockdown which is announced in major cities?
So this pandemic is not today actually. So last 2.5 years probably, everyone is facing that. So most of the companies are used to this hybrid sort of working culture. Okay. So let's say last 2 years, there are many companies, not my company, there are many companies which have already been adopted this hybrid culture. So first and foremost, basically, we need to really look at which functions we can really migrate to the hybrid culture. So you talk about your manufacturing. So you talk about the sales, right? So wherein we really need people to be there actually for manufacturing, people to be there in the shop floor. So what kind of precaution you can take for them, especially on those areas. So other departmental functions, right? So you talk about your financial service. You talk about your IT services or even customer service. So that is function which can easily work from home, and they are, if required, they can come to office, and we can maintain a hybrid working culture there actually. Okay. And by that, what have been planned for adopting this hybrid culture is that we have adopted many very good collaboration tool. So you talk about Teams, you talk about Zoom, right? And companies also given many reimbursement for getting this internet connectivity and other facilities at home as well. Okay. So those sort of initiatives have already been taken to adopt this hybrid culture. Okay. So and if you talk about your manufacturing while people are coming to office, so we have taken some sort of initiative there actually. I mean, all those security controls, in order to really protect not to people to be really infected with COVID. So we have regular monitoring of their temperature, so they have been provided mask, sanitizer and so on. Then we have maintained that sort of social distancing in the office and the shop floor as well. So those are those, actions or, planning or activities are already been done. Okay.
So you're all set for any kind of eventuality, and a hybrid model is already in set with your company.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is given a different thought process to the companies, to the management actually. So in the company, like I was working in Philips, so I have given a task from the HR that can we really look for some sort of home-based role. While you are thinking about the hybrid culture, we are also thinking about can we really do a makeshift that typically some functions the people can really continue working from home. So there are almost, let's say in IT, we could able to create almost 20 to 30% home-based role. I mean, people can continue working from home. So if required, they can come to office, or even you can take some sort of shared space wherein you'll do a monthly meeting or something like that. So this is absolutely a paradigm shift in the working culture. I guess. Yeah.
Right. Mr. Das, what is your business continuity plan in case of a lockdown? Because you're working in a pharmaceutical company, and this is of course going to be an essential service. But what exactly does your business continuity plan look like?
I think we have pretty much planned there. Actually, last 2 years we have been doing it. So all our plants, 17 plants, which is operating across India and globe. So all our people are working there. So we have a pretty much good backup planning. If someone is infected, people are not able to come, then we have a proper backup planning. So whoever are contractors or third party contractors, we are pretty much aligned with them to have people in the office as well. And that I was also explaining that we have taken many precautions by creating some sort of social distancing while they are working in the plant, especially, and they are wearing mask every time. Then we have distributing the sanitizers. They are temperature, everything being monitored every time. So this is more related to your manufacturing. And if you talk about the other functions, I already spoke about that. So they are pretty much connected. So I mean, all our IT services, financial services. You talk about marketing. People are pretty much connected actually. So we are having a, let's say, virtual room wherein people are connecting and discussing. They are connecting to all the employees. Even all our let's say leadership talk. The town halls, everything is being virtually driven. Yeah. So from a manufacturing point of view, I don't see a big impact. From a revenue drive perspective, there are certain impact because the people need to be there actually, especially on the sales force. So they need to really be in the market to connect to the distributors or to go to the pharma chemist and pharma retail shops. So that is where there are some challenges, but I think by adopting this Zoom and the virtual connection, so the sales folks are easily connecting to the customers as well. Okay, so we don't see much impact, but yeah, there are certain impact, especially to the sales and marketing colleagues. But I think we have a proper backup mechanism there. People are connecting, things are moving, and being pharma is essential during this COVID. So we are pretty much planned, and all the backup business continuity is ready.
Right. Yeah. So, Mr. Das, when it comes to support functions, especially say IT services or HR, these can continue remotely as well. You yourself said that customer facing sales and marketing teams would have a little bit of a challenge. Now we want to try and understand what processes have you managed to automate, to what extent, to make it easier for these client facing team members to have it easier.
So connecting to customers, right? So we have a CRM automation. So we have adopted many artificial intelligence. We have a chatbot wherein if customer want to connect, and they can connect through the chatbot, and we have a robotic automation process there, wherein the bot can really able to give many answers to the customers directly. Yeah, it's all ML, AI, ML is working behind the screen. So similarly in IT services, I'm talking about more on IT services point of view actually. So we have our core applications like SAP and let's say laboratory management system. So there are many let's say full manufacturing automation you can talk. So those support system is pretty much from a remote place actually. Yeah. So people are fully equipped with a laptop. People are fully equipped with internet. And we have typically to really protect your data, we have secure firewall system, right? So wherein people are connecting through that firewall and to this VPN, and securely connecting to the server as well. Okay? So those what do you call, so those remote support ecosystem is pretty much aligned and there. For you talk about IT services, you talk about customer service, you talk about service from marketing team or sales team. So those ecosystem is pretty much aligned actually. Yeah. So you talk about any collaboration tool, you talk about bringing more artificial intelligence wherein you can study the customer behavior, right? So if a customer is creating any query or something, that AI can do and study the customer behavior and can pull off the data from our database and to provide all the informations. Those ecosystem is pretty much there actually. Have created that.
All right. That's very heartening to know. I'm just trying to understand what is supporting this infrastructure. All these processes which have been automated. Do you have your own data servers? Are you in the cloud? Could you talk about that as well?
I mean, if you're asking company specific, I think, yeah, I mean, we are working on a hybrid model because of some sort of, it's a pharma company, we have FDA and other regulations. Protecting data is must, especially in this, in the pharma company and especially in the healthcare companies. So although we are adopting cloud, I think we are working more on a hybrid model actually, cloud and in on-prem. So we are leveraging many automation, especially in robotic automation process, to automate many of our manufacturing processes. Okay, so we have also adopted automation in case of your, let's say, for full suppliers payment ecosystem actually, getting all those invoices, because now hard copies are not being accepted because of this pandemic. So you can accept the soft copy, and there is automation process wherein we have multiple optical character recognition tool. We can really study all those invoices and they can easily post, and it will go through the bank and do a payment. So those full automation cycle is already been automated actually. Yeah, that is more from a financial processing point of view. Yeah, Anisha, please.
Yeah. So I wanted to understand, are you hosting this data on your own servers, or are you using cloud facilities? That's what I wanted to understand.
I mean, I told you that's a hybrid model actually. We are on-prem and cloud. So you talk about optical character recognition, probably we are using some cloud infrastructure there, and from a financial data point of view, we have our on-prem data center servers.
Right.
Yeah.
So you did say that since you are under the purview of scrutiny by the US FDA as well, all your data must be sensitive and you need to be very careful about protecting it. So what have you done towards this? Because over the last 1 year, we have seen a significant increase in ransomware also happening. So what are the measures that you're taking for cybersecurity?
We have already implemented DLP, which is data leakage prevention, right? So it's basically we have some data leakage policies wherein all the sensitive data is going to be protected for the company. Okay, so if someone is sending a mail from your server to any external email ID to external server basically, then this DLP is going to be really activated and to do all those activities. They are going to really filter out which are very sensitive data and going to protect that. So we have Azure Information System and other DLP is being taken care. Then we have our Zscaler and other VPN solutions in place, wherein people are working from remotely, because of this pandemic, I think most of the people are working from home. So therefore, it's becoming evident now actually. Data cyber security is nowadays, you must be hearing that cyber security threats are really high last 2 years, right? So one is your firewall and other one is your VPN. I think you need to really securely connect to your server. So you talk about your core ERP system while the people are working from home, right? So they want to connect to the server, they need to securely connect to the server, right, to do all your data transaction activities. Okay. So that is something we have already taken care of by putting all those VPN, all those firewall, security firewalls, everything is there. Okay. So by that we are trying to protect our data, not to be really get out from our box.
this year, 2022, what are the plans that you have from a technology project perspective? Which is the area that you want to work on and strengthen? Any project that you're working on currently?
I think one project for the company, if you talk about, we are working on is basically to create some sort of foundation for our digital journey. So therefore, we are now migrating, SAP, which is a core ERP, from ECC to S/4HANA. So S/4HANA is basically is a platform which will basically, create a supplier-customer collaboration. Actually, it will really give the ability to connect to many downstream systems in a secure way. So that is our kind of a digital journey. We are really trying to create that foundation, which we're working. It's a big flagship program we are working on. So the other area, I think, from a I think Lupin must have been heard about. Lupin has been announced in the diagnostic business, right? So we are into diagnostic. Okay. So that is a different ball game altogether. So we are playing in B2B now. This diagnostic is going to be B2C actually, wherein you will connect to the consumers, right, to the end customers. So I mean, you need to be really very robust enough, because nowadays I think those days are gone wherein, especially for this lab, you are collecting the sample, you are taking your own time to scrutinize the sample, to study the sample, to analyze all your data. But I think those days are gone. Now we have we call it a software driving robotic process, right? So it's like the software is going to really do a proper analysis of your blood samples. Then the robotic process is going to do all those workflow automation, everything. Then your turnaround time, which was really taking huge days. Now people don't have that a time to really wait for 2 to 3 days or 4 days or 5 days to get a medical to lab report, right? So by introducing this robotic automation process, the software driven analytics, so we could able to give a full accurate report to the consumers, to the customers. Okay? So that is one of the area actually we really want to automate actually, and to create some robustness actually, especially in the diagnostic business. Yeah.
All right. And as for you, what are the top technologies that CIOs need to focus on for 2020?
I think there are many. I mean, if you personally ask me, there are many things coming, especially on your life science technologies, on healthcare. So one area which is coming is your connected device. Now people are having wearable devices, wherein all your health records are being stored, which can be connected to the HIA system, hospital information management system, right? Wherein doctors will have access to all your health parameters. So this is something which is really going to be trained, and in 2020 it's going to be really adopted a lot. So that thereby you can see there are many startups which are really investing a lot on those areas. So like if any mother is pregnant and they have a gown you can wear, and your baby's movement, everything will be captured in that device, and your gynecologist is going to have access to that actually. So you needed to really go to the doctor because of this pandemic. So you can be at your home, but all your baby's movement, everything can be monitored. So those are digital health, which is something coming in 2020 in a big way. So other thing I was just thinking is more. I don't know if you've heard about metaverse. Okay?
Metaverse, yes.
So metaverse is more. It's basically it's a digital reality combining social media, online gaming, augmented reality, virtual reality, cryptocurrency to allow virtual interaction. Okay. So now the new age, you can tell Gen Z, the new generation. So they really wanted to virtually connect. So now these kids are getting into a virtual space. They wanted to interact and to watch movie and to play the games. So that is one of area I think 2020 is going to be really invest a lot in those space. Yeah, and another space I can think is I think IoT, because of this connected device and all. So IoT is going to, I mean, already there is adoption, but IoT is going to really, many companies are going to really invest a lot on IoT. So 4G, now we are getting into 5G. China is already starting working on 6G actually. Yeah, I think that is one of area wherein 2020 will see more investment there actually. Other thing is that internet security and privacy. That is something because of this working from home, digital economy, digital health, IoT, all your connected devices. So I think internet security is again going to be an area wherein the companies are going to really invest a lot. We really want our data, everything to be secure. That is not going to be exposed to the external world. That is one area I think most of the companies are going to really invest a lot. But cyber security is a real threat to the companies now to protect their data. So that is one of area I think there'll be let's say more technology innovations are going to be done in 2022.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on AI analytics? Any processes where you have deployed these at Lupin?
I'm not talking about Lupin actually. I can give few examples wherein I personally involved in the predictive analytics. So during my Philips days, so this MRI and CT scan, these all are high-end medical equipments. Imagine if the machine is going to be really shut down for 2 to 3 hours or even a day, then there will be a huge impact to the patient, those who are really waiting to do the MRI and CT scan. So how to make sure that I'll get some trigger before my machine is going down actually. So this is called, we are now working on a proactive mode. Can we really work on a predictive mode? So that is something I think we explored and we get some breakthrough there to do some sort of predictive analytics. So which is more in combination of your big data and artificial intelligence. So it will read through all your historical failures. Then it can automatically this AI is going to predict something actually that your machine is going to be really in a breakdown situation probably in a day or two or in a week time. So by that, the hospital can take or something preventive actions on that actually, so that your patient is not going to be impacted. Yeah. So that is one of area I think the AI and big data is really going to play a bigger role there actually.
And last question, what would be your advice to CIOs? There's so much experience in the last 2 decades. For 2020, what should they keep their eyes out on?
My advice to CIO, this is my personal experience, trust me. So when we call it as CIO is information officer actually. Then there are many roles. Chief Information Officer, you will find Chief Digital Officer, Chief Technology Officer, right? There are many different roles. So while we are talking about CIO, my personal view is that CIO need not to be very, get into a deeper of technology actually, right? So CIO should really get deeper into business. They should understand what business is asking for. They should understand what is my business strategy is, and what is a role of CIO to really drive business, to create some sort of value for the business. The CIO can be a business enabler. The CIO can be a value driver actually for the business. Okay? So I think if you'll ask me, my view to the CIO is be a business centric person than technology centric. Understand business, then you have your technical people. You have expert. You leverage them and bring the right solution and give to the business and make sure that business is up and running and you are creating some value for the business actually.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Das, for joining us and talking to us about the emerging role for CIOs, the technologies to watch out for, and how to prepare for any eventuality in this time when we are living through a pandemic. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Anisha. Take care.
With that, we'll wrap up this chat on CIO TV. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon with another top IT leader from a leading company in India or around the world. We'll be back soon.